Hello everyone, so I'm back here again. So like I mentioned, we're actually going to replace the index with the item. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to define a function which we are going to assign to our on click. Okay, so when we click on it, we want to see something, right? So over here, I'm actually going to call that function, for instance, choose box. Okay, or selected box, whatever. So I'm going to call this, for instance, choose box. Okay, and that this is actually going to take the index, okay, or the position, and for now we can choose to console log it. Okay, so to make sure that at least everything is working as it's supposed to. So down over here, what we're actually going to do is we are going to assign the on click to it. Okay, so when it's clicked, we want to execute the choose box, but I want to pass in the index. Okay, so if I save this and then we open this up and then we'll open our console. Sorry. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so I think there's something wrong somewhere, so I need to correct that. Okay, so that is perfect now. So now we have this. Okay, so if I click on any of the boxes, I should get that. So I'm getting the index of that particular box. Perfect. So what we're actually going to do next is actually, let me go to the box and then assign it like the cursor to be pointer. Okay, sorry. And let me just minimize the entire of this. Okay, good. So when we click on the box, we're actually getting what how do you call it, the index. So what we're actually going to do next is we are going to check if that particular box that was clicked, whether it has any item in there. So if it is empty, then we can place an item in there, that is the current player's value, okay, which is X or 0. But if there's already an item, then we are supposed to get an alert that says, box already selected. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and then we're going to check. So if, for instance, if we're actually going to get the board and we are going to assign the index over there. So if the index, if the selected index from the array is empty, it's an empty string, then we are good to go. Okay, then we are good to go. Else, sorry, else we'll just alert that, okay, box already selected. So box already selected, right? So this is what we're actually going to do. So down in here, now that we know that, okay, this box is not selected, what we can actually do is we can now assign our player. So we can check, okay, first things first, let's check if the current player is equal to, for instance, X. We want to do something different, else we want to do something different. Okay, so if the current player is X, what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to first, let's do this, let's define this, let's define new board. For instance, new board is equal to the board. Okay, sorry, is equal to the board, and then we are going to have new board, and then at the position index is going to be the player. Okay, and then what we're actually going to do is we are going to reset the board. So we are going to say set board, which is going to go to the new board. Okay, and then we are going to set the player. So set player, which is going to go to O, like that. Okay, and we're actually going to do the same thing for this section. Sorry, except we're actually going to change this to, for instance, X. Okay, so this is what we're actually going to do. So let me save this, and we'll later come to appreciate the use effect. Okay, so currently if I do this and I save this and we try, we are getting, this. So this is perfect. Okay, this is perfect. So now you realize that, for instance, if I come back and then I select this, it says what? Alert, box already selected. So that means I cannot override. If I select this, it says box already selected. So like I mentioned, this is a winning streak. That is a winning streak. Okay, so this is working, perfectly. Okay, so now that this is working perfectly as we want it to, let's define, for instance, our use effect. Okay, and that is going to go to this. We are going to pass it some dependencies. So for now, we're actually going to pass it the selected index. So one thing I also forgot to do was to also set the selected index. So the selected index, so set selected index, and that is going to go to the index. Okay, I'm going to come down here, we're going to set the selected index. So set selected index, and that is also going to go to the index. Okay, come down here, and actually we are going to pass the selected index down here like that. Okay, so whenever there is a change in the selected index, there is going to be a new the component is going to like re-render itself. Okay, so I think this makes sense for now. So I'm going to pause the video, and then when I come back, we're actually going to define the function that is going to run inside this use effect to actually display the winner. Okay, and that is when we're actually going to take advantage and then use, for instance, this, what you see right over here, our pattern. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video here. In the next video, we're actually going to write the function to detect the winner. Thank you.